In a small village, nestled between rolling green hills and a quiet winding river, there lived an old woman named Martha. She had seen more seasons than most, felt the sting of bitter winters, basked in golden summers, and watched as life bloomed and faded like the petals of a wildflower. Despite her age and the hardships life had thrown at her, Martha was the happiest person anyone had ever met. She had no great wealth, no grand home, and no family left to keep her company. Yet, she always carried a soft, knowing smile, her eyes twinkling with a secret the rest of the world had yet to uncover. People often whispered about her. How can she be so content? Some would ask. She has lived through so much, lost her husband, outlived her children, yet she never seems troubled, others would say. To some, she was an inspiration. To others, she was a mystery. But, to a young man named Eli, she was his last hope. Eli had spent his entire life chasing happiness. He had worked tirelessly, believing success would bring him joy. He had traveled to faraway lands, thinking adventure would fill the emptiness inside him. He had searched for love, hoping someone else could complete him. But despite all his efforts, despite everything he had achieved, he felt nothing but a quiet, nagging void in his heart. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, bathing the village in hues of orange and gold, Eli found himself standing at Martha's doorstep. He had heard the stories about her, about how she never seemed to carry the same burdens as everyone else, and now he needed to know her secret. When Martha opened the door, she smiled warmly, as if she had been expecting him. "Come in, my dear," she said, her voice as gentle as the breeze. Eli stepped inside, his eyes scanning the small, humble home. It was cozy but simple wooden shelves lined with old books, the faint scent of lavender lingering in the air. A single candle flickered on the table, casting soft shadows on the walls. As he sat down, he took a deep breath and asked, "Martha, what is the key to happiness?" She chuckled, her eyes filled with amusement. "Ah, the age-old question," she said. Eli leaned forward. "Please, I've spent my whole life searching for happiness, but I can't seem to find it. I've chased success, I've traveled the world, I've done everything I was told would make me happy, and yet I feel emptier than ever. Tell me, what is the secret?" Martha studied him for a moment, before standing up and motioning for him to follow her. She led him to her small garden, where wildflowers swayed gently in the breeze. The scent of fresh earth and blooming petals filled the air. She knelt down and ran her fingers through the soil. "Do you see these flowers?" she asked. Eli nodded, unsure of where this was going. "They bloom every year," she continued, "but not because they chase the sun. They bloom because their roots are deep, because they have learned to embrace both the rain and the sunlight. That, my dear, is happiness." Eli frowned. "I don't understand." Martha smiled. "Happiness is not something you chase. It is something you create. You are unhappy because you have made happiness conditional. I will be happy if I succeed, if I find love, if life goes exactly as I want it to. But happiness does not wait for perfect moments. It lives in ordinary ones, the warmth of a morning cup of tea, the laughter of a child, the kindness of a stranger." Eli was silent. His mind was racing. He had spent his entire life running towards something that had been around him all along. Martha placed a gentle hand on his shoulder. "Tell me, Eli, when was the last time you truly felt the warmth of the sun on your skin? Or noticed the way the wind sings through the trees? When was the last time you sat still and simply existed, without searching for something more?" Eli opened his mouth to answer, but he couldn't. He had always been so focused on what was next, the next goal, the next trip, the next achievement, that he had never truly lived in the now. Martha smiled knowingly. "You see, happiness is not in the future. It is not waiting for you at the end of some great journey. It is right here, in this very moment, but only if you choose to see it." Eli looked around, the way the last rays of sunlight painted the sky, the sound of the river flowing nearby, the gentle rustle of leaves in the breeze. And for the first time in a long time, he felt something stir within him. It wasn't a grand revelation. It wasn't an overwhelming surge of joy. It was something quieter, something deeper. Peace. Martha patted his hand. "The key to happiness is simple. Stop waiting to be happy. Be present. Be grateful. Let life be enough." As Eli left her cottage that evening, he didn't feel like he had found a hidden treasure or uncovered some great secret. But he did feel lighter, as if a weight he had carried for years had finally begun to lift. And as he walked through the village, he noticed things he had never paid attention to before. The way the lanterns flickered in the evening light, the sound of laughter spilling from a nearby home, the feeling of cool night air against his skin. For the first time, he wasn't searching for happiness. He was living it.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.